Kinna Chavhei Yitain Roshi Mayim, page 81, and immediately after this we'll say the Kinna on Churban Yados Europa. Handing out those Kinnos. Speak a little bit about Kiddush Hashem and Mesiras Nefesh. Chiyuv to be Moshav Matityahu, Gili Arayish, Yichas Domin Avodah Zorah, even Betzinga, because the Maharal explains that these things destroy aspects of a person, Lanetzach, better to die in this world than to be destroyed eternally. Any Aveira that is not for the Hanoah of the Goy who's forcing you to do it, and there's a minion of Yidden, it's also a Chilul Hashem. Chilul means a vacuum. The Kiddush Hashem, the Ashros Hashem is everywhere. And wherever there's an Aveira done, the Shat Nefesh makes it a vacuum. It takes away the Rabbon's presence from that place. The main thing is not to die al Kiddush Hashem. The main thing is to live al Kiddush Hashem. How do you know that? From Akedah Yitzchak. The Rabbon should have taken Yitzchak as a korban, but he chose to take an ayil instead because it was more important that Yitzchak live al Kiddush Hashem than die al Kiddush Hashem. There was once a young Jew from Shipoli who was frivolous, impetuous, and disdainful of Torah and mitzvahs. One day he decided to be exciting to be a soldier, so he enlisted in the Russian army. However, the army wasn't what he expected it to be. The life of a soldier was difficult, and the officers were always yelling at him. After a short while, he deserted. He ran away and found refuge in the house of the Saba of Shipoli, who fed him and took care of all of his needs. The army searched for him and was eventually found and sent to jail. The young soldier, who had no scruples whatsoever, decided to try and get a lighter sentence. So he said to the officer in charge, "None of this is my fault. The Rav of Shipoli made me desert. He told me that if I didn't leave the army and return to Jewish life, my soul would be lost forever." You can see that he even hid me in his house. That was all the officer needed to hear. He immediately sent soldiers to arrest the Saba and take him in handcuffs to the army prison of the neighboring town. The Jews from the surrounding areas were extremely concerned about the fate of the holy Saba, and they collected a lot of money to bribe the guards to at least remove the handcuffs from the Saba's hands. The bribes worked and the handcuffs were removed. The Saba was even permitted to walk around the town accompanied by a contingent of soldiers. The Saba then climbed to the top of a hill in the center of town, and all the Jews of the town gathered around him. The Saba raised his eyes heavenward and exclaimed, "Master of the universe, it's written, who can count the dust of Yaakov?" I interpret this to mean, who can count the number of Jews who have been turned to dust and ashes in order to sanctify your name? Creator of the world, Master of the universe, all my life I've worked to fulfill your will. Now please fulfill my request and let me die the death of the righteous. I'm asking you to permit me to die like all those other righteous Jews. Let me die in sanctification of your name." The Saba had just finished speaking, the Jews all around him weeping uncontrollably. As word arrived that he was to be freed, all the charges against him had been dropped. The Saba then began to speak again. "Master of the universe, even if you have decided not to grant my request to die in sanctification of your name, please don't reject me from your service. Even if I will have to die in my bed, at least let my life serve to sanctify your name." That's the Iker Mesiras Nefesh. Kiddush Hashem and Chilul Hashem really depend on the person. The person who lives on Kiddush Hashem is very careful that because he's a representative of the Rabbanos from this world, the person who wears a hat and jacket, who wears a yarmulke, who looks Jewish, represents the Rabbanos Shalom, and people are watching. And if what you do brings honor to the Rabbanos Shalom, you're Mekadosh Shem Shamayim. If what you do brings the opposite, you're Mechalel Shem Shamayim. And sometimes you can even be doing a midas chasidus. A mitzvah l'chora can't be a chilul Hashem unless you really do it in a way that's not proper. But the Mesilas Yesharim says even a midas chasidus, which is not necessary. If you do it in a way that people look at it with derision, then better not to do it. Surely not to do it in public. So even a Maisa Tov, if people don't see it properly, it could be a Chilul Hashem. Every Jew has a Nekuda within them that's Kodesh V'Tohar. And every Jew who's killed because he's Jewish has a din of a Mekadosh Shamayim and a Kodesh. Rosh Hashiva said it on the soldiers who were killed defending Eretz Yisrael in the 6-day war. Even if they were not from people, to say the least, before they died, but they died defending Klal Yisrael. They died as Jews, they died because they were Jews. So the halacha is their death is mechaper on them, and they have a din of a kodesh. I learned it from a medrash. The medrash says that David HaMelech calls his enemies, Yidden, who were Amishoyim, calls them what's it called, Klovim, Chamorim. And later on he says, Besar Chasidecha Nasnu Meichel Ov HaShamayim. Where are these Chasidecha? These are the people he called Klovim and Chamorim. He said because they were killed on Kiddush Hashem, they were killed because they were Jews. Their death is mechaper on them, and they have a din of a kodesh. So he said, applied it to those soldiers. It's a huge story of a Talmid Chacham who wrote plays in a camp. Nochum Lazar, his name was. The play was the following. Moshe Shapiro reported this play. He was a chaver of this person. He was there at the time. A secular man perished in the Holocaust, and when his neshama ascended to Shamayim, the Beis in Shamala asked him, what do you expect to receive here? The man answered, I heard from my friends there's a desirable place called Gan Eden. That's what I'd like to receive. We must first ask you a series of questions before we allow your entry. Did you keep Shabbos? Inquired the voice. The man answered truthfully, no, I did not. Did you don tefillin? No, I did not. Did you keep kosher? Once again, the man replied in the negative. Did you fast on Yom Kippur? No. Did you eat matzah on Pesach? No. I did not practice any mitzvahs at all because I came from an assimilated family and had no exposure to the laws of the Torah. Still, I request to be admitted into Gan Eden. Gan Eden is reserved for those people who subscribe to the lifestyle that was dictated to the Jewish people on Har Sinai, explained the voice. What makes you think that you are deserving of Gan Eden? Because I'm a Jew, he insisted. But how do you expect to go to Gan Eden if you didn't learn Torah or keep any of the mitzvahs? It's true that I didn't learn Torah or keep mitzvahs, stated the man firmly. But if it was good enough for Hitler that I was a Jew, then why isn't it good enough for you? The Bachram guessed as a powerful argument had indeed been made. The audience listened to the commotion that followed as the heavenly court convened and debated the departed man's status. After a few moments, a decision was finally reached. Nachmi banged the gavel and announced the verdict. Halacha ke Hitler. The law follows Hitler. A non-observant Jew who had perished in the Holocaust was permitted entry into Gan Eden. Rav Wasserman's last moments before dying al Kiddush Hashem are described in the introduction written by his son for his Sefer Kovik Sha'arim. Rav Chanan spoke quietly and calmly. His face was serious but serene. His final words did not include any personal references. He didn't even try to part from his son Rav Naftali. His words were directed towards all of Klal Yisrael. In the heavens we must be viewed as righteous, because we have been selected to atone for Klal Yisrael with our bodies. Despite this, we must here and now do a full and complete tshuva. Time is short. The trip to the 7th fort, where he and the other holy Jews of Slobodka Kaufman were murdered, will not take long. We must keep in mind that our sacrifice will be better accepted by God if we do tshuva, and through this we will save the lives of our brothers and sisters in America. We're about to do the greatest mitzvah, as it says, the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed by fire, and by fire it will be rebuilt. The fire that burns our bodies is the very fire that will help rebuild the house of Israel. As we read this Kinna, and the Kinna after it, it reminds us of people who were Mesiras Nefesh, literally, who died al Kiddush Hashem, to give us the incentive to want to live al Kiddush Hashem, never to have to come to that Messiah to Yotzei our Kiddush Hashem, with Mesiras Nefesh through our lives.